Yo, it's your boy Mr. Rager coming here at you live and 5 on YouTube. Just want to talk to you about some hot new shit, artifacts. Let me get that in the camera for you. See that? Some artifacts. It's the promo right here. This is artifact site. But you also have artifact Aegis, Labrys, Achilles Shield, B Gala la 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 la, whatever the fuck his name is. Deuces, Fallon Naught, and it's a couple of them I don't have. I don't have any Moral Text or the XYZ. Uh, but if y'all don't know what artifacts do, you set these motherfuckers in your back row, and whenever they're popped during your opponent's turn, they all special summon and they all do some gay shit. Fallon Naught sets another fucking artifact from your graveyard back into the back row. Caduceus says whenever another artifact monster is special summoned during your opponent's turn, draw a card for each one. Begaliach, I'm gonna just call him Biatch. Biatch, whenever he's popped, he can pop two more of your own back row, so you can set off more than motherfuckers. Achilles Shield makes him unable to attack your artifacts. Labrys don't do shit, but say she can special summon from their hand whenever another artifact is popped, I believe. Aegis says none of your artifacts can be destroyed by card effects. And Scythe, which was the promo, says your opponent can't special summon monsters from the extra deck. Uh, Moral Tack is the one that's like highly splashable. He can destroy any card on the field when he special summons during your opponent's turn or on your opponent's side of the field. Let's talk about the cards I don't have first. I don't have the Artifact Quick Play spell. I believe it's called Artifact Ignition. Um, but it's MST for all intents and purposes. MST. It's a quick play that can pop any spell and trap card on the field. But when this card resolves, you can get an artifact monster from your deck and set it into the back row. Also, if it's popped by your opponent's card effect, your opponent has to skip their next battle phase. And then there's Artifact Sanctum. I call it Artifact Rectum. Uh, it's a trap. Whenever it's activated, you special summon an artifact monster from your deck. And whenever it's popped by your opponent's card effect, pop another card on the field. I'm pretty sure you can see why all these cards are good. And the Artifact XYZ, he's a rank 5, 2500 attack point XYZ, I believe. He has two different effects. You can only activate one of his effects per turn. One effect says detach one, shuffle all cards in both players' hands back into the deck, and they each draw the same number of cards that they had in their hand previously. Uh, and his other effect, which is actually the really good one if you're running artifacts, is once per turn you can make a card effect your opponent controls is activating or is using, pop one card you control. So when they activate Upstart Goblin, so to say, okay, instead of them drawing a card and you gaining 1,000 life points, Upstart Goblin just now pops one of your artifact monsters and you continue to shit on them. Or they activate Dark Hole. Oh no, my field. No, pop one of these cards in my back row, bitch, and see which one it is. I'll give you the pick. It's 5 of them back here. Which one you want? Deuces is gonna just make me draw shit. What deuce is that? Deuces! Yeah, he chunking up the deuce to you bitches and drawing more cards. Uh, Now, I wanna talk about the artifact monster that I do have. Starting off with deuces, since we was just talking about him. Now, in all of my playtesting with this deck, whenever Deuces is in the back row with all the rest of your shit, if you use something like Malevolent Catastrophe or Absorbing Jar, two cards I'll talk about in a minute, you always want to make him the last chain link because all of the artifact monsters effects activate in chain. You want to make him the final chain link, so he'll come out first. When he comes out, you will then summon your other artifacts, and then his effect will activate multiple times in that chain for each artifact monster you summon. So if I had Deuces, Scythe, Aegis, and Achilles Shield, and fuck it, I had a full back row and I fucking flipped absorbing jar, and I had this, and I have like a Labrys and a Biatch in the back in the graveyard. First thing I want to do is I want to organize my chain. So last thing that you want to happen, which is the first thing that you want to happen, is this. So you organize your chain something like chain link 1 Fallon Knot, uh, chain link 2 Scythe, chain link 3 Aegis, chain link 4 Achilles Shield, chain link 5 Caduceus. Deuces. Now, chain links resolve, Deuces comes out, Achilles Shield comes out, Aegis comes out, Scythe comes out, Fallon Knot comes out. Okay, now they're all on the field in whatever position you proceed to put these motherfuckers in. Okay, now, as you know, since he was on the field, his effect will activate once for each one of these motherfuckers summoned. So that's 4 cards you're going to draw. You can choose how you choose to chain on his drawing effect also. So, what I like to do is I like to go Fallon Knot. Fallon Knot will probably put Biatch back in my back row. Scythe, make my opponent not able to come from the extra deck. Aegis, fucking these Aegis, none of them can be destroyed by by card effects. This one says none of them can be targeted for battle, and then I draw 4 cards. Okay, so boom, 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 draw all these motherfucking cards. I got 5 monsters on the field just because you decided to attack a motherfucking absorbing jar, and I got to draw 5 cards from the absorbing jar, and then another 4 cards from Caduceus. So whatever was in my hand, plus 9. So I just went plus 9 because you attacked absorbing jar. Sounds pretty OP to me. Now, I want to break down the individual brokennesses of these cards. Artifact Scythe. If you're playing artifacts, you can pop any of your back rows at any given time. You're playing against fucking dragon rulers, and they go to summon fucking. They got 2 dragon rulers on the board. You go, oh, well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be an asshole, and I'm gonna activate. Artifact ignition, popping Achilles Shield, and double Cyclone, popping Scythe and one of your back rows. So you just lost 2 back rows for no fucking particular reason, and I get 2 monsters on the field. But what happens is Scythe comes out. Okay, now you can't go on your extra deck, and Achilles Shield comes out, and now you can't fuck with my Scythe. You see that? You see how shitty that is? You see how really bad that is for your opponent? It's a really shitty situation. But then, now we get to talk about the fun cards that artifacts get to run. And then, on top of them being dumb as fuck, being popped in the back row, whatever ones you have in your hand, you get to use with this. Yes, all artifacts are fairy type monsters. All of them are fucking light type fairies at that. So you get to use Herald of the Orange Light whenever your opponent decides to activate monster effects. And just throw these motherfuckers to the graveyard. You would say, but I want them in my back row. Well, that's where Fallon Knot comes into play, because whenever this bitch pops, she pulls one from the graveyard into your back row. So you can pitch any of your fucking artifacts and just put them bitches back in the back row. It's highly recyclable shit. Okay, now let's talk about 2 cards that I really like in artifacts. And if you get hit by it with artifacts, it puts them at such an advantage that you really hurt. The first one I want to talk about, Malevolent Catastrophe. Now, this is good for artifacts and good against artifacts. You would say, how is a card that destroys all spells and traps on the field good against artifacts? Well, when your opponent decides to make an attack with something and he has that back row full of artifacts, you activate Malevolent Catastrophe and wipe them off during his turn, and they don't do shit. Not a motherfucking thing. Okay? But it's also really good for the artifact player when they set like 4 artifacts in this motherfucker, and then you say, well, I'm gonna see what they playing, and I'm gonna poke, and they flip this motherfucker up, popping fucking all 4 of their fucking artifact monsters, and you're like, oh my god, he just like put 4 monsters on the field. Oh no, and that can end up in a fucking Tyrus, a Volcasaurus, a Adrius, any of the fucking rank 5 exceeds, the fucking artifact exceeds anyway. Then if it's late game or mid game or fucking after turn 1 of after fucking turn 2, and there's other back rows on the field, like you decided to set fucking 3. Well, guess what? You now just went minus because a motherfucker flipped up this shit. Okay? Now, this is one of my favorite motherfucking cards in the artifact archetype, and it is called Absorbing Jar. Its effect simply reads, flip, destroy all face-down spell trap cards on the field. Then, each player draws a card for each card that they had sent to the graveyard in this way. Okay, cool. So I have 5 artifacts in the back row, and I set this motherfucker. This is my whole 6-card hand. Oh no. You decide to say, okay, well look, I'm going to poke that motherfucker and see what it is. I think I'm playing against Gear Gear. So, I'm playing Cyber Dragons. I think I'm playing against Gear Gear. I'm going to special summon Cyber Dragon and poke into the Gear Gear armor. Well, guess what? You just saw earlier how combined with fucking deuces, I can have plus 9 cards in my hand. Plus 5 monsters on the board. Okay, I believe this is an insurmountable advantage. Now, if you lose after you flipped up this and gained plus 9 plus the 5 monsters on the board, which is fucking ridiculous, it's like a plus 14. Uh, well, then shit, you just a bad player. Or they just had your nuts in a vice. I don't know. Maybe they sucked your dick for the scoop. I don't know. But that's my artifact tutorial or explanation on different shit you can do with the artifacts. Again, as you see, nigga ain't got no editing. It's just raw nigga video right here for y'all, the YouTube, the Yu-Gi-Oh players, everybody. I'm out here trying to up y'all's knowledge and y'all's experience without y'all having to go and put in the hours that I had to put in. For my hours, I give y'all the information. So, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what more y'all want to know. I'm here for y'all. I'm here for the Yu-Gi-Oh community. So, deuce, like, comment, subscribe, do all that shit.